All right, on the last episode, I went ahead and got my Elka lift kit on my GX460. Now I gotta get the shoes to match. So today we're gonna try to fit these bad boys right here, these Fury MT2 mud terrains 35's. And we also got some pretty nice wheels to go along with it too. So stick around and while we try to get these guys to fit in there. In order to get 35's to clear in my GX460, I'm gonna have to clear some room here on the body mount, which is performing a body mount chop. The next problem is these steps, the factory side steps, or whatever you want to call them, those got to be cut and trimmed. And fortunately, we were going to build some sliders in time to do this, but running the business and everything cut everything short, and there's a backlog in production that I didn't want to cut in front of everybody. So I contacted RSG and they had some sliders for a 460 in stock, and they got these things shipped over to me in like 2 days. So I will at least have some protection while I'm out on the trip. So shout out to RSG for helping me out. It's massive of them. We also have another problem when it comes to this 460 is its approach angle is very poor. And they do this for styling and aerodynamics, but we're not about that. We want to go out in the woods and have some fun. So one of the things we also need to do is go ahead and cut and kind of raise this approach angle as much as possible, which we technically also going to have to do for our back end over here because our departure angle is also kind of poor. Now, fortunately, there is a lot of room for me to cut here and give us just a few extra inches of clearance. And this is kind of like a really good little budget solution. If you just really can't afford bumpers just yet, but you're ready to hit the trails, that's what we're doing today. Now, before we start having fun, I want to go ahead and take these guys off first while we're waiting for Joey to show up with my new 35's and my new wheels, because I'm tired of skipping leg day. Oh, look at these bad boys right here. Look at them. Yeah, if anybody wants a stock set of GX wheels, let me know. I'll probably basically give these away. I really don't want them. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get these on here so we can see how much we got to clear. And to be honest, it's more of, I just really want to see how it's going to look. The clearing part sounds just smart. Now, these are Method 312s running -12 offset, and they're 17 by 9. The tires are 35 by 12.5. So there's gonna be some things that are gonna not want to jive with each other, and we're gonna go ahead and try to kind of go over and see what we need to move out of the way. Same in the back, we don't have a lot of clearance. But like I said, that guy's going away. The rear mud flaps are also gonna go away because we're gonna be cutting the back. All right, so we got the 35's on it, and they definitely do not clear with the stock plastics on. So we're gonna go ahead and take the side steps off, and we can take a good look at the body mount and see how much we're gonna have to trim and clear, because it's gonna be quite a bit. Disconnect the connector, and then looks like I just need a bunch of 12's. We can pop this guy off. We don't want to destroy it because we want to use it when we install the sliders. We're going to use a lot of these plastics so it looks nice. We don't want to lose any of our hardware. All right, so we know where it's hidden over here. We can actually see a little bit of marks where the tires have already started cleaning up some of the plastic. So I know I actually have to cut at least all the way up to here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 10 mil bolt out, and then I'm gonna make a cut with a box cutter or something, and come all the way across this way. And that would give us a really good starting point. And then we're gonna go ahead and cut our fender down this way right before this bracket right here, and then we have to decide how we're going to handle this once we get to that point. So All right, so we're making good progress now. I've went ahead and did both sides. Now we took and cut this pinch weld, we folded it over, and then I went ahead and cut the bottom of the fender mount. I'm still left a little bit of the bracket here for rigidity, and it's still pretty strong, so I'm hoping that's gonna be good enough. We'll find out next week. So as far as this goes, until I put the wheels and tires back on it and we get it on the ground and turn it a lot, we won't know if this is enough or not. So in the meantime, what we do need to do is we need to move towards the front where Joey is currently working on masking the front bumper, and we're gonna go ahead and make some cuts. So Joey did a beautiful job of masking this thing as true as he can get it, and so we're gonna go ahead and grab my little reciprocating saw, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a cut all the way across. Now, the one thing to remember is I left it all bolted on together still. This is gonna keep the bumper nice and rigid as I'm making my cuts. And you could technically do this at home as well with like a Dremel and a cutting blade. It's gonna take you a while, but it will do it, and it'll do it well. So I just gotta get to cutting at this point. Help me! Help me! Just. Pull these. Might shoot sparks at you? Yep. You might want to move over here. Yep. All right, now that solves all this right here. Now we gotta cut these and figure out a way to secure them properly. I'm probably gonna have to do an edge cut, and then we just go from there. Now that I got a nice clean surface, I can go ahead and I got some edge trimming that I want to put on, and we're gonna put that on, and then I would say the front is done. My arms are tired. I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting this on, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right, so we gotta trim the back of the bumper to give us just a little extra clearance. We're gonna go from this line right here all the way across, and we'll handle the exhaust in a different episode. I got something planned for that. So now we're gonna clean all of this back here and then start taping up. We used a laser line to mark our rear bumper because we were having problems where we thought that we were being all crooked, but no, it turns out it's just the lines of the rear bumper kind of throw us off a little bit. So I'm gonna give this back to Chris, and we're gonna get to cutting. We got the bottom cut off. It's a little jagged. We're gonna go ahead and clean it up. While we're doing that, we're actually gonna offload this memory card because it's almost full. And then once all that's done, then we can go ahead and focus on sliders. And then I think we're done. Ish. We still have to make sure the 35 is clear in the front. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, so if I'm fully stuffed, and I go to turn, it's gonna hit all this. My gas mileage is going down as I move. Put it on the ground, we tested it, and this side was definitely hitting here, so I had to move the BMC further back. Looks like a body mount relocation is in my future. So these 35s are a little more work than I thought I needed. We went ahead and flexed her out, and we weren't clearing at all. Once it's fully compressed, we're hitting over here. So I'm gonna trim this plastic all the way up to here. We're gonna fold over these tabs, and we're gonna cut this bottom part of the fender just a little bit more, and then see if that gives us the room that we really need. Okay, let's put wheels back on and test it again. Stop, go back. I see what happened. Forward, left. That's fine, right. Whew. All right, so the last thing we got to do for clearancing is the exhaust. Now, typically, if you're rolling on a budget, you can cut it right here where it dumps off, and you're good. But today, I actually got the MagnaFlow Overland series, which we sell, by the way. And that's what I'm going to be putting on the GX because we have a V8, and I want to showcase the V8. So that's what we're going to do. I had an absolute blast putting this GX together, and I have to say thank you to Elka Suspensions and Fury Tires for sponsoring this build, because without their help, this really wouldn't be possible. And I wanted to cover a lot more, but unfortunately the Jambo Crunch got me again this year. So hit that subscribe button to make sure you're up to date on the next coming videos on Toyota Jamboree, where I got to really test this thing out, and I have to say, it did not disappoint.